everyone. Thank you for being here and welcome to episode 5 of Goin with Roen.
Hi, I'm Josh.
I'm Amanda. We are here this week to answer some questions about real estate and
Ask a Realtor.
Ask a Realtor. Yep. So Josh, do you want to start off with our first question?
First question, is it Realtor or Realtor?
It's technically Realtor, right?
I don't know. We should probably know that.
It's Realtor. But no one says it like that unless you're really enunciating, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so second question then.
What does a Realtor do?
Realtor. What does a Realtor do? So this is a very big question. So the number one thing that a Realtor or real estate agent does is they represent their client, whether it be a buyer, a seller, and in some cases both. They guide through the general real estate transaction, handle all the paperwork, kind of just acting as a go-between the parties.
We are also a fiduciary agent to our client, meaning we must keep all information confidential. Everything must be cleared with the client before we tell another party. We owe the client all the trust and honesty, openness upfront, and that's really, we pride ourselves on always being transparent in the transaction, even if sometimes it might be news that you don't want to hear.
Yeah. Okay, and also as an agent or a realtor, we have access to the multiple listing service, or an MLS as it's sometimes called. This is a way for us to find houses that may not be open or listed to the public yet, or like on Zillow or Redfin or those kinds of places, because they get their information from the MLS. So a real estate agent or a realtor, it just acts as a wealth of knowledge for their client. And
then for listings, we come over, give you a consultation on what you might want to do to the property before you list it for sale. Is that a question? Okay, well, we'll get to that later. Sorry.
Well, it makes me think though, we kind of said realtor and real estate agent interchangeably, but there is a difference. Josh, what is the difference between those two?
The realtor is a part of the National Association of Realtors, and they are required to abide by a canon of ethics above and beyond what the state, I guess, requires. So that's the difference.
It's like a real estate agent, but you have this special
Yep.
certification and membership.
You can't call yourself a realtor unless you are a member of the NAR.
Cool. All right. So another question that we got was, how are realtors paid? How do we get paid?
So generally speaking, the commission is paid by the seller to the listing agent, and then the listing agent has the option to offer a co-op to a buyer's agent on the MLS.
And a co-op would just be the amount that they're offering to pay to compensate the commission, right, for the buyer.
It could be a percentage, it could be a flat amount. It's generally, it has to be agreed upon by the seller in the listing agreement. So commission is always negotiable between the seller and the listing agent. And then the listing agent will usually co-op 2 to 3% to the buyer's agent.
And that is how we get paid. So if you're working with an agent to buy a home, you don't necessarily have to pay them, because we are paid out of the sale of the home. All right. You kind of got into this a little bit earlier, the services that we offer to our seller clients, but how do you arrive at a listing price? If someone wants to sell their house, how do we come up with that number?
We do what's called a comparable market analysis, where we run the comps with the MLS and with sales maybe on the auditor side if they weren't on the MLS for that particular neighborhood, for a comparable house, in a certain amount of radius of the house, the subject house that we're going to sell. And then we discuss it with the seller, and the seller ultimately decides what the price is. That's their decision. We give our opinion, but ultimately it's the seller's decision on what the listing price they want to be.
One of the best things that we can do to help come up with a listing price also is just visit the home and meet with the seller there, kind of let them give us a tour and point things out. And that gathering all the numbers and all those statistics and facts that we can before we get to the listing appointment definitely helps, get us in a ballpark. But until we're there and see it in person and talk to the home seller, I think that's one of the best ways we pinpoint a number too. And honestly, it's like Josh was saying, it's up to the seller, and it's kind of, the market will let you know if you're overpriced or underpriced. The goal is to get it right the first time, but you'll definitely know if you're not getting showings or things like that you're a little off. But that's how we do it.
Usually showings is the best indicator on if you've got it priced right. If you're not getting a lot of showings, you're not going to get an offer. If you don't get an offer, you're not going to get a contract.
Yep. Okay, so our next question that we got was, how often can a client expect to communicate with their realtor?
As often as they want, or
yeah,
every day or every week or whatever.
As often as needed. A good realtor will keep you posted about updates about the property, or if you're under contract, things in that process. A good agent will be easy to reach via text, call, or email. We, as the Roen Group, we really pride ourselves on being readily available for our people. So that's one thing. Some agents, your availability might differ, and that's okay. Everybody runs their business differently, but that's one thing that we definitely are proud to provide for.
Ideally, we're telling you what's going on before you're having to ask us what's going on.
Yeah.
That's what we strive for.
Yeah. All right. So our next question we got from a friend, and it is about touring houses. What should you look for when you are touring houses?
I like to look first at the foundation and the basement, if there is one, to see if there's any foundation issues. To me, that's one of the most important aspects of the condition of the home, because if the foundation is messed up, it can be very expensive to fix or remediate, and most buyers don't want to take that on unless they're like an investor or somebody like that, because you just never know what it can all entail. And then also a good thing is to look at is the roof, if possible, to kind of get an idea if there's any, if it looks like it's aged, or especially if you see like any kind of bowing or any kind of aspects of the roof that just don't look right, structurally, if you can tell. Obviously we will have an inspection, but you don't want to waste your money on an inspection if you know just from the showing that the house has a lot of issues.
I think when you're looking at houses, it's easy to get caught up in stainless steel appliances and real brand new remodeled things, and it's easy to get wowed by these things. That's why when we're on showings, and again, not every agent or realtor is going to do it like this, and that's okay. Everybody gets to do their own thing. But one thing we do is we try to point out things that might be concerns to our clients. We don't want to just have you fall in love with a house, and it's not about the sale for us. We want to make sure you're in a home that's not going to have a bunch of issues once you get in there and it's a big surprise. So we will definitely, even though it's not fun sometimes to tell people, but we'll definitely point things out the cabinets are great, but come look over here.
Right.
You might want to see this. So
people usually really appreciate that because they know we're not just trying to get a sale.
It really matters.
Happy to look at multiple houses to find the right one.
Yep. So when looking at a home or when touring a house, I guess the bottom line is to just pay attention to things beyond, the upgrades and stuff like that.
Right.
Really get into the nitty gritty and the foundation for sure. Was that our last? that was our last question. Josh, is there anything before we go that you think would be important? Again, we're going to do this more often. This is just the first of many Ask a Realtor things. So if you have any questions, we will either do a whole episode covering that question or do it kind of like in one of these Ask Me Anything sessions.
If you currently own a home and you would like a home analysis done free of charge, no expectations of listings or anything like that, we're happy to come over and kind of give you a report of what your house is worth at right now, and kind of just so you know, we happy to do that.
Cool.
Just do a quick comps and look at the house and kind of run the numbers in case you were to decide to ever sell. So if you ever want to do that, just reach out to us, and we'll happy to come over.
Yeah, if that's a question that you have, what is my house worth? We're more than happy to do that. And again, no obligation. Like Josh and I, we always say houses sell themselves, because people will ask like, ooh, how do you like being a salesperson? It's like, we're not. We're advisors. Houses sell themselves, and we just kind of guide through that process. And
Right.
Yeah. So thank you for watching our first Ask a Realtor episode. We will be back next week with something exciting, I'm sure. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate all the love. This project has just been really cool, and I'm very excited, and I'm excited to have y'all along for the ride too. So
All right.
cool. Have a great week, and we will talk to you guys soon.